Your mechanic just quoted you $4,000 for a complete engine rebuild, and you're wondering how everything went so wrong. But here's the thing. A simple $12 additive could have prevented this disaster entirely. Now, most additives are complete garbage, but today we're exposing 12 additives that actually work and 5 that could literally kill you. The last one on our avoid list isn't just engine poison, it's banned in most countries for being a neurotoxin.
The winners. Additives that actually work. Number 1. Seafoam Motor Treatment. Starting off with a product that's been around for over 8 decades, Seafoam Motor Treatment works as both a fuel stabilizer and an engine cleaner. And that's just the beginning. You can pour this into your gas tank, mix it into your oil crankcase, or even use it in diesel engines without any worry, which makes it incredibly versatile. The beauty of Seafoam lies in that versatility, and because of this, thousands of users report reduced oil consumption and smoother engine performance after just one treatment. While it won't clean carbon as aggressively as some specialized cleaners, it makes up for that with convenience, since one bottle can handle multiple jobs. This is exactly what makes it perfect for well-maintained older vehicles. The key with Seafoam, however, is consistency. If you use it regularly, it can help prevent problems before they start, though you shouldn't expect miracles if your engine is already severely damaged. Still, when you consider the price point and ease of use together, it's hard to beat.
Number 2. Liqui Moly MOS2 Anti-Friction Treatment. Here's something most people don't realize. Nearly 1/3 of your fuel goes toward fighting internal engine friction. That means you're spending money that is literally burning up inside your motor. However, Liqui Moly MOS2 changes that equation completely. This German-engineered additive works by creating a boundary layer on metal surfaces, and as a result, it reduces friction by up to 50% in your valve train. In fact, German taxi services have relied on this formula for decades, and these vehicles routinely surpass 300,000 miles. Moreover, the aerospace industry also uses MOS2 technology, where friction failure could mean catastrophic consequences. Because of this, the immediate benefits you'll notice include easier cold starts and noticeably quieter operation. You can use MOS2 in all 4-stroke gasoline and diesel engines, and it's also compatible with turbo systems and particulate filters. However, you should keep it away from brand new engines under 5,000 miles since they still need some friction for proper ring seating.
Number 3. Hot Shot's Secret Everyday Diesel Treatment. Modern ultra-low sulfur diesel presents a serious problem that most diesel owners don't understand. This is because the sulfur removal process strips away natural lubrication properties, which in turn creates excessive wear in fuel systems. As a result, standard ULSD creates wear scars measuring 520 microns in standardized testing. However, Hot Shot's EDT reduces these wear scars by up to 159 microns, which significantly extends the life of expensive fuel injectors and pumps. Considering that these components can cost over $5,000 to replace, this makes the additive an incredible bargain. In addition, the benefits don't stop there. EDT also boosts cetane ratings by up to 7 points, raising pump diesel from the typical 40 to 45 rating to the 48 to 50 that modern engines actually require. This improvement leads to more complete combustion and easier starting. As a result, many users report fuel economy gains of up to 7%, and the engine tends to run noticeably quieter.
Number 4. Chevron Techron Concentrate Plus. General Motors doesn't endorse many aftermarket products, but they specifically recommend Techron Concentrate Plus. Similarly, BMW also backs this additive, and when German engineers approve American chemistry, you know it works. Techron contains high-strength polyetheramine, which is scientifically proven to dissolve carbon deposits throughout your fuel system. It cleans fuel injectors, combustion chambers, and intake valves with impressive effectiveness, and as a result, users commonly report a 2 to 3 miles per gallon improvement after treatment. The science behind Techron is solid, and it works best on engines that have been running on substandard gasoline. In fact, older, neglected engines tend to show the most dramatic improvements. However, if you've been using top-tier fuel consistently, the results might be less noticeable. That said, proper application is critical with Techron. This is because you need to follow the instructions exactly, as this concentrated formula can cause problems if used incorrectly. Nevertheless, When applied correctly, it remains one of the most effective fuel system cleaners available.
Number 5. Lucas TB Zinc Plus. Classic car enthusiasts face a unique challenge that modern car owners never have to consider, because pre-1994 vehicles with flat tappet camshafts require much higher zinc levels than modern oils provide. While regular oil contains only 600 to 800 parts per million of zinc, classic engines need at least 1,400 parts per million to stay protected. However, modern oil formulations have significantly reduced zinc content since zinc can damage catalytic converters. As a result, vintage car owners began experiencing premature cam wear, which often led to expensive failures. To address this, Lucas TB Zinc Plus was developed to boost zinc levels to over 5,000 parts per million. This additive is specifically formulated for racing applications and for maintaining classic cars. It is also ideal when breaking in rebuilt engines, although in that case, you must drain the oil after 1,000 miles to avoid excessive wear. It is important to note that this product is designed exclusively for pre-1994 vehicles, because using it in modern engines equipped with catalytic converters will cause costly damage.
Number 6. Marvel Mystery Oil. At over a century old, Marvel Mystery Oil has the longest track record of any additive on this list, and it earned its reputation by delivering consistent results across multiple applications. It functions as both a fuel system cleaner and an oil treatment for gasoline and diesel engines, and it works by removing carbon buildup from fuel pumps, valves, and injectors, while also fighting sludge formation in the crankcase. In addition, the additive reduces varnish and gum deposits throughout the fuel system. Because of these benefits, users frequently report immediate improvements, such as quieter idling and smoother cold starts. However, the real value often shows up in dramatic repair savings, since even condemned EGR valves have been restored to proper function after a single treatment, which can save hundreds of dollars in replacement costs. Overall, Marvel Mystery Oil performs best in classic cars and high-mileage vehicles, although modern engines with advanced fuel injection systems might not show significant improvements.
Number 7. BG Motor Oil Additive. Stuck piston rings create one of the most expensive oil-related repairs you can face, and depending on your location and vehicle type, this problem can cost between $2,000 and $3,500 to fix properly. The frustrating part is that it is completely preventable with proper maintenance. This is where BG Motor Oil Additive comes in, as it was specifically engineered to prevent ring sticking by removing carbon buildup and stabilizing oil viscosity. In fact, independent laboratory testing proves that BG additive increases the total base number of conventional oil by up to 40%. The total base number measures alkalinity versus acidity in engine oil, and when oil becomes acidic, it starts attacking metal engine components. While quality oils contain enough additives to prevent this, if you have been using cheap oil, BG treatment can help restore the proper chemical balance. The main drawback with BG Motor Oil Additive is that results are not immediately obvious, so it offers long-term protection rather than instant gratification. However, it remains extremely effective for older vehicles and is a smart investment for avoiding costly repairs in the future. Number 8. ATS Chemical 505 CRF.
When Scotty Kilmer stakes his 50-year reputation on a product, it is worth paying attention. ATS 505 CRF is one of only 2 additives that this famous mechanic actively promotes, and that alone speaks volumes about its credibility. Like Techron, ATS 505 contains polyetheramine, yet it goes a step further by being formulated to attack 4 different types of carbon deposits. This means it is not only effective, but also adaptable, as it works on both port and direct injection systems, making it more versatile than many competitors. Moreover, ATS 505 can be used in both gasoline and diesel applications, which further extends its usefulness. In terms of results, users report significant improvements in oil consumption, with some even seeing it drop by 50%. Along with that, fuel economy typically improves by 1 to 3 miles per gallon, which represents about a 13% increase. At current fuel prices, this can translate to roughly $325 in annual savings for the average driver, making it not just an effective product, but also a financially smart choice. Furthermore, the benefits go beyond fuel economy. ATS 505 also improves throttle response while reducing valve noise and timing chain rattle. As a result, It is particularly effective for high-mileage vehicles that are beginning to show signs of wear, helping to restore performance and smoothness on the road.
Number 9. Hot Shot's Secret Diesel Winter Anti-Gel. Winter diesel operation presents serious challenges that can destroy engines and create massive repair bills. When diesel fuel is left untreated, it begins forming paraffin crystals at just 10 degrees Fahrenheit, and these crystals can completely block fuel lines within minutes. However, Hot Shot's Diesel Winter Anti-Gel can help prevent this problem because it lowers the cold filter plugging point to as low as -40 degrees Fahrenheit. As a result, fuel gelling is prevented even in extreme winter conditions. Without proper treatment, frozen fuel lines can lead to serious damage, which may require as much as $2,000 in repairs. In addition to preventing gelling, the additive also boosts cetane ratings and improves fuel economy, even in the coldest weather. This means that treating your fuel before temperatures drop is essential, since it acts as preventive medicine rather than an emergency fix. For gasoline engines facing similar winter challenges, Heat Gas Line Antifreeze provides comparable protection by helping prevent fuel line freezing, ensuring smooth operation throughout the season.
Number 10. CRC GDI Intake Valve and Turbo Cleaner. Gasoline direct injection engines accumulate significantly more carbon than traditional port injection systems, and according to SAE data, GDI engines build up 40% more carbon deposits after 100,000 miles of operation. As a result, this excess carbon causes cold start misfires, rough idling, and reduced throttle response over time. The problem has become so severe that mechanics now recommend intake valve cleaning as regular maintenance, which typically costs around $800 per service. However, CRC GDI Cleaner offers an affordable alternative at just $17 per treatment, and the high concentration of polyethyramine effectively removes carbon deposits from intake valves. Furthermore, laboratory testing with borescope cameras confirms that heavily carboned valves show visible metal after treatment. The application process does require following specific instructions rather than simply pouring it into your fuel tank, but the extra effort is worthwhile when you consider the cost savings. In fact, using CRC Cleaner every 10,000 miles costs $17 instead of the $800 you would spend on annual professional cleaning.
Number 11. Lucas Heavy-Duty Oil Stabilizer. Most oil additives are worthless products that create more problems than they solve. They clog oil passages, contain abrasives, and can turn a minor issue into a major engine rebuild. Lucas Heavy-Duty Oil Stabilizer is different because it's designed for a specific purpose. This isn't your typical oil additive. It's an extremely thick Group 1 mineral oil with minimal chemical additives. The viscosity exceeds 2,500 centistokes at 104 degrees Fahrenheit, compared to about 60 centistokes for standard 5W30 synthetic oil. The purpose is to fill worn bearing clearances in high-mileage engines. The thick fluid reduces noise, boosts oil pressure, and decreases oil consumption in engines with loose tolerances. But this is exclusively for older, naturally aspirated engines. Never use Lucas Oil Stabilizer in turbocharged engines because the extreme viscosity will destroy the turbo. In non-turbo applications, it can slow variable valve timing systems and cause oil foaming. Follow the instructions precisely and keep this away from healthy engines. Number 12. AT205 Re-Seal. This is the only additive that belongs in every garage, whether you drive a brand new car or a high-mileage vehicle. AT205 Re-Seal is a plasticizer that restores elasticity to rubber seals and gaskets throughout your vehicle. As rubber components age, they lose flexibility and begin cracking, and this creates leaks that can cost thousands of dollars to repair properly. However, AT205 doesn't just stop existing leaks, it also helps prevent new ones from developing. The versatility is remarkable because you can use AT205 in engines, transmissions, power steering systems, differentials, and hydraulic systems. In addition, it is also effective when sprayed externally on suspension components to maintain rubber bushing flexibility. High-mileage car owners save enormous amounts on leak repairs with this simple additive, and even new car owners benefit from preventive treatment that extends seal life. So there you have it, 12 additives that can genuinely transform your engine's performance and longevity.
But now comes the important part. We need to talk about the dark side of engine additives, because not everything on the shelf deserves a place in your garage.
The villains. Additives to avoid. Number 1. Cheap octane boosters. Over-the-counter octane boosters that promise 10+ point gains are often misleading consumers because of deceptive marketing. This is because 1 octane point equals just 0.1 of an octane number, meaning that 10 points only raise 91 octane to 92 octane, and this minimal increase provides no real performance benefit. In contrast, effective octane boosters can raise ratings from 91 to 95 or even higher, yet these products cost significantly more than the additives you find on store shelves. However, most drivers do not need octane boosters at all unless they are running high-performance engines that are specifically tuned for premium fuel. Moreover, cheap boosters often contain MMT, which can leave orange manganese deposits on spark plugs and oxygen sensors, and these deposits may eventually cause over $1,000 in sensor replacement cost.
Number 2. Teflon-based oil additives. Polytetrafluoroethylene, or PTFE, based oil additives might sound logical at first, since PTFE is the same material that creates non-stick surfaces on cookware. However, while this property works perfectly on pans, it actually creates serious problems inside an engine. For example, Slick 50 was once the most famous PTFE additive on the market, but its reputation collapsed after the Federal Trade Commission fined the company $10 million for false advertising. This was because government testing showed no actual improvement in engine protection or longevity. Moreover, NASA engineers found that PTFE particles could build up in oil filters and passages, which in turn increased wear rather than reducing it. So the same non-stick coating that works wonders in the kitchen can quickly turn into a liability under the hood of your car.
Number 3. Engine rebuilders. Any product claiming to rebuild worn engine components using soft metals like copper, silver, or lead is pure deception. These soft metals cannot repair hardened steel cylinders or bearing surfaces. Basic metallurgy makes this impossible. Engine rebuilders are usually thickening agents that temporarily mask symptoms without addressing the underlying problems. They might quiet noise for a short period, but they ultimately cause more damage while delaying proper repairs. Number 4. Ford Anti-Gel. Ford's anti-gel additive actually works to prevent diesel fuel gelling, but it is still one of the worst performing products in its category. This was proven when Project Farm conducted comprehensive testing of 11 popular anti-gel brands, and Ford finished in 10th place. In contrast, Hot Shot Secret, Peak, and Amsoil dominated the top positions in cold weather protection testing. And even House, another popular mainstream option, significantly outperformed Ford's product. So, when your own manufacturer's additive performs worse than much of the competition, it becomes a real cause for concern. Number 5. Tetraethyl Lead. This represents the most dangerous automotive additive ever created. Tetraethyl lead effectively boosts octane ratings and reduces engine knock, yet it is also a powerful neurotoxin that damages human liver, kidney, and brain function. Although TEL has been banned for automotive use in most countries due to its extreme toxicity, it is still used in aviation fuel, which makes its continued presence a serious concern. In addition, the compound destroys catalytic converters and causes significant environmental contamination. Therefore, if anyone ever suggests adding tetraethyl lead to your vehicle, you should contact the authorities immediately, because this is not just harmful to your car, but also potentially lethal to human health. On the other hand, there are many products that can be beneficial, but remember that no additive can replace proper maintenance, yet the right products can definitely help your engine last longer and run better. Thanks for watching, and remember, a little prevention today beats a massive repair bill tomorrow.